You believe the Confederate flag should keep flying in South Carolina. Why?
Well, that is my position, and the reason I have that position is because I think that it's extremely important that we remember this very dark time in our history, the mistakes that were made in the past, because, you know, if we begin to systematically throughout our country begin removing all the monuments, all the, flags and so forth, then, we're going to put ourselves in a position where we begin to forget our past history. And it's not a history that any of us should really be proud of. Certainly all lives matter, including the lives of those who fought and died for their homes and their families in the Confederacy. But I think the real issue here is that you're not going to defeat racism through politics. You're going to defeat it ultimately through love and forgiveness. And that's what the people of the Emmanuel Church, I think, understood, and their response has been truly remarkable, thanks to the grace of God.
Look, it's true that getting rid of a flag isn't going to get rid of racism. I think that's a very, very, there's no question that what you say there is true. But when you bring up the flag as a reminder of history, you're talking about it flying at a war memorial and how that's appropriate. Look, the South lost the war, a war that the South fought to preserve slavery. Similarly, the Nazis lost, right? To be consistent, though, would you be okay with a Nazi flag flying at a World War II memorial?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I said, would you be okay with a Nazi flag flying at a World War II memorial?
I'm not sure if that's quite the same thing. I think that certainly the Nazi flag was part of Germany's history and everything. But, what we're talking about here is the Confederate flag. Specifically, it's General Lee's battle flag. And so I certainly understand the comparison. I think, though, that there's a proper context for everything, including the swastika, including Germany's flag, and including the Confederate flag. And I think that, those who want to take it down out here, I don't know if it's visible on the monument, but if you're going to take it down and put it in a museum, if you're saying that the flag itself offends you, it's going to offend you in the museum context as well. This monument is essentially a mini museum erected to the memory of the lives of those who fought and died. And I think, though, once again, the real issue here is the thing that we should be focusing on, is the fact that the families and the community has really pulled together in Charleston, and I think that's a remarkable thing.
What I'm trying to understand, though, is the Confederate flag, was a symbol of the side that went to war to preserve slavery, right? To preserve buying, selling, and owning black people. That's what the South fought for in the Civil War. Is that worth honoring?
Based on what now?
I'm saying the flag is
certainly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Certainly the flag, was used by the Confederacy. It was used in the war to help to maneuver troops and so forth. And yes, the South, slavery was a component of the war between the states, and it was, unfortunately, we were on the wrong side of the slavery issue. I wish we hadn't had to fight a states' rights battle over the issue of slavery. I wish that we'd been able to end that peacefully the way Great Britain did.